Hello everyone. In this video, we will talk about a chapter, the fundamental unit of life. The fundamental unit of life. Now, let us talk about some introduction. We know that every living organism starts its life as a single cell. Let me write this statement. Every organism starts its life as a single cell For example, if you talk about human beings, we know that humans are made up of several trillions of cells. 70 to 100 trillions of cells are present in human body, and here the human life actually starts with a single cell. Human life starts with a single cell, that is zygote, and we know that this zygote is formed by the fusion of male and female gametes in the fallopian tube or in the oviduct. Now here we know that this zygote is formed by the fusion of male and female gametes, and it is the single cell, and it is diploid in condition, and this zygote undergo several repeated mitotic divisions or cleavages, and it further developed into multicellular structure, and those multi cells will be further developed into embryo, and that embryo further developed into fetus, and further development takes place in the mother's uterus. Now just let me write here, zygote, which is formed by the fertilization process, undergo several repeated mitotic divisions or cleavages, and it further developed into multicellular structure called an embryo, and this embryo further attaches to the mother's uterus wall, attaches to the mother's uterus wall, and we call this process as implantation, and there it further develops some extra embryonic layers, and it developed into a fetus, and complete growth and development take place inside the mother's womb. So a mother will give birth to a fully matured young one after completion of the pregnancy period. Now let us talk about organization of a living body. If you see the organization of a living body, so let us say human's life. Here the human life starts with a single cell, that is zygote, and that zygote undergo the cleavages. It is divided into multicellular structure, so that a group of cells are further divided into tissues, and group of tissues are further divided into organs, and group of organs are further divided into organ systems, and group of organ systems are further organized into an organism. So this is the organization of a living body. Now Let us talk about the basic fundamental unit of life, that is cell. Here we can see that cell is the basic unit of all the living organisms. Here the cell is the basic unit of living organisms. Now let us talk about the definition of the cell. Here we can see that cell is the basic structural, functional and biological unit of life. Let me write here the definition of cell. Here cell is the basic structural, functional and biological unit of life. Here we must remember that cell is the basic structural, functional and biological unit of life. Now let us see here, there is a branch of biology that deals with the study of cell, and we call it as cytology. Here cytology is nothing but, we can say that it is a branch of biology that deals with the structure and
Study of
the cell organelles. So actually the term cytology is derived from the two words. Let me write here the word cytos, which means cell, ology or logos, which means study. So simply we can say that study of cell structure and its organelles. So now let me write here the definition of cytology. It is the branch of biology. It is the branch of biology which deals with the structure and the study of cell organelles. Nowadays, the term cytology is replaced with cell biology. Sir, what is cell biology? Here, cell biology is also a branch of biology that deals with the study of structure, biochemistry, physiology, reproduction, evolution and genetics of the cell. First, let me write the definition of the cell biology. It is the branch of biology that deals with the study of structure, biochemistry, physiology, reproduction, evolution, and genetics of the cell. Now let us talk about discovery of the cell. First, who discovered the cell, and discovery of different components of the cell and the different terms used by the different scientists. Now let me write here Discovery of cell. Here cell was first discovered by Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke was first discovered cell in the year of 1665. So here Robert Hooke, to observe the cell, he has taken thin slices of cork of oak tree, and he observed these slices of cork of oak tree under his self-designed microscope. Actually, Robert Hooke has invented his own microscope, and it was a double-lensed simple microscope. With the help of his double-lensed simple microscope, he discovered a cell. And when he observed that thin slices of cork of oak tree under his self-designed microscope, he noticed many honeycomb-like structures. Right? In that honeycomb-like structures, Robert Hooke noticed many empty boxes or many compartments. He called those empty boxes as compartments because all of those empty boxes are divided by the walls, and he named these empty boxes as cellulae. So later on the term cellulae is reduced as cell. Actually the term cell come from the Latin word cellulae, which means a little room or a small room. First look at here, in these two pictures we can see that this is the Robert Hooke's double-lensed simple microscope. With the help of this double-lensed simple microscope, he observed honeycomb-like structures, and in these honeycomb-like structures Robert Hooke noticed many empty boxes. Look at this, this is one box. Like this there are many empty boxes present, and he called them as compartments, and all of them are divided by the walls. Now let me write about discovery of Robert Hooke. Here in 1665 Robert Hooke observed thin slices of cork of oak tree. So now let me write here, Robert Hooke, to discover the cell, he has taken thin slices of cork of oak tree, and he observed these thin slices of cork of oak tree under his self-designed microscope, and observed under his self-designed microscope. Under his microscope, he noticed honeycomb-like structures. And he called them as empty boxes or compartments, and all these compartments are divided by walls. So here Robert Hooke named these empty boxes as cellulae. So later on the term cellulae reduced as cell. The term cell came from the Latin word cellulae, which means a little room or a small room. So this is, we need to remember, the term cell came from the Latin word cellulae, which means a little room or a small room. Robert Hooke has written a book called Micrographia. He wrote a book called Micrographia. So about his discovery, everything was mentioned in this book, Micrographia. So here actually Robert Hooke discovered a plant cell, and is it a living cell or dead cell? It is a dead cell, a dead plant cell. So now just let me write over here. Here in the year of 1665, Robert Hooke observed dead cell which is resembled honeycomb like structure. Honeycomb like structure. So here we can see that actually the cell discovered by Robert Hooke was a dead plant cell. So just let me conclude here. Robert Hooke actually discovered dead plant cells. Then first, who discovered living cells, sir? Now let us discuss about a scientist first who discovered living cell. His name is Antoine van Leeuwenhoek. Antoine van Leeuwenhoek. In the year of 1674, Antoine van Leeuwenhoek discovered living cells in pond water. That means he has collected a sample from the pond water, means little water was collected, and when he observed it under his self-designed microscope, he noticed some unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium, and we know that they belong to a group protozoa. So here Antoine van Leeuwenhoek discovered protozoans. The name of these protozoans: amoeba and paramecium. So actually Antoine van Leeuwenhoek called these organisms as animalcules. He called these organisms as animalcules. Later on the term protozoans was given by some other scientists. And he has also observed bacteria in tartar of teeth. So look at this. He is the Antoine van Leeuwenhoek, first who invented single lensed simple microscope. See, this is the single lensed simple microscope. With the help of this single lensed simple microscope, he has observed protozoan organisms like amoeba and paramecium, and he has also observed bacteria by collecting the yellowish colored part which is present on the teeth. And when he observed it under his self-designed microscope, he noticed certain bacteria. And he has also observed sperm cells in human sperm cells. He has also observed sperm cell in humans and red blood corpuscles. He observed red blood corpuscles in fish. So here our doubt is clarified, that is, the first cell was discovered by Robert Hooke and the first living cell was discovered by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. So the cell discovered by Robert Hooke was a dead plant cell, whereas living cells was discovered by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. And there are some other scientists who gave some specific terms to the living fluid present in the cell. Here there was a scientist, name of the scientist is J. E. Purkinje. J. E. Purkinje called the fluid part inside the cell as protoplasm. So he has coined the term protoplasm. Coined means he has given the term protoplasm to the living fluid inside the cell. So we generally call the living fluid inside the cell as the cytoplasm, and cytoplasm and nucleus, these two together called protoplasm. Actually the term protoplasm was given by this scientist J. E. Purkinje. He has coined the term protoplasm. Now, so let us understand what is protoplasm. Here protoplasm is nothing but cytoplasm and nucleus. These two cellular components together called as protoplasm. So what is protoplasm? It is a living fluid present inside the cell. And later on there is another scientist, Huxley, called this protoplasm as physical basis of life. Physical basis of life. Because the genetic material present in this protoplasm, which is responsible for the formation of life, hence he has called it as the physical basis of life. And the important component of the cell, nucleus, it was first discovered by Robert Brown. Here we need to remember the two terms. One is Robert Hooke, name of the scientist. Robert Hooke discovered a dead plant cell, whereas Robert Brown in the year of 1831 discovered a nucleus in orchid leaves, and inside the nucleus there is an important component which is responsible for the RNA synthesis. So that is nucleolus. Nucleolus was discovered by Felix Fontana. It is easy to remember, name of the scientist Felix Fontana. Fontana. He has discovered nucleolus.